As a parent, one of the biggest challenges is knowing when is the right time to allow your child to fly and leave the nest. When is the right time to step in and rescue, and that space in between. My next guest will be speaking about her book, Fly, which is a beautiful illustrated children's book. And that is actually good for children 2 to 102. Stay tuned.
Thank you, Maureen. I appreciate being here. Thanks.
So the book, first of all, it's beautiful, and it's very touching. And as a parent, the book it's simple too. It's about the visual journey of allowing your child to finally fly and be successful in this world with what that means. Tell me about the book, the motivation.
Well, I think it's important for any viewers or listeners to understand that it's a book written from the parent's imagination. So it's written from my imagination, and it goes way back, like 22 years, when my middle child was about to start kindergarten. And I had already been through the whole transition from preschool to kindergarten, but for some reason I just had these visual images of my son going from this protected preschool environment to like the big bad world of kindergarten with so many more children and teachers and activities. And I guess in a nutshell, it was, what's going to happen to him beyond the yellow school bus, and what responsibility do I have to prepare him, to shelter him, and then to give him wings and let him fly.
And so it is the whole, from the backpack and bringing those experiences along the road. It's really a beautiful book.
Oh, thank you.
So with that though, so these visions downloads as you were going through that, when did you decide to write the book?
So interestingly enough, it was actually written all those many years ago. It was written in two separate parts. There was the first part, and when you read the book, it's very clear where the stopping point was. And then when I picked it back up, say 7 years later, and I always felt like I wanted it to be a book. When I first wrote it, I sketched it out with stick figures and just the best I could do with my limited artistic talent. And I held on to that for many years. So 7 years later, I added to this, and I guess it just sat on the shelf for many years because I wasn't comfortable putting myself out there yet. We all have these fears, and Maureen, it's not easy to put yourself out there. I'm sure you know that yourself. You worry about, people judging you, or what if it flops, or, a million other things. But somehow or another, I thought, you know what? I have to do this because I felt like it would resonate with, I guess, parents who were in my same position, as well as their children. Because what was interesting was one of my reviewers called it a children's book for people aged 2 to 102. And it's really a sweet book for anybody. And it reinforces what we as parents do, because hopefully everything we do is out of love for our children and wanting the best for them. So ultimately, I had these horrible sketches, and my daughter-in-law has a friend who's an amazing artist. Her name is Tori Nelson, and she is the one who illustrated the book. And I gave her my sketches, and I let her read it. I gave her the sketches, and I told her what I wanted, what I pictured, and she literally breathed life into these illustrations. And I couldn't have been more thrilled with the job she did on it.
Well, the book's beautiful, and it's so endearing, and it's special. It's very special.
It is. It's special. It's close to my heart, and like I said, it resonates with a lot of parents who said, "That's exactly how I feel." And I think part of why I write is just, well, it's cheaper than therapy for one thing, but also, just gets everything out, and it's an opportunity for me to give a voice to people who may not be able to articulate those very strong emotions that they're feeling, like, why am I sad that my child's going to kindergarten? Am I sad he's going to kindergarten? No, it's like, I can't believe the passage of time. I can't believe he's already 5. Where those 5 years go? So yeah, I think it hits a lot of those strong emotions that we as parents and guardians and trusted adults feel about our children.
Well, so it's so funny. Before we came on, we were talking when I read it. I'm thinking of my 19-year-old as he's stepping,
Right.
leaving the
They're
nest.
still our
to go to
babies, no matter how
school.
old they are.
They're always
Yeah.
our babies.
Right.
So that was something like the backpack would have been a little tight on him, but it was my 19-year-old, not my 5-year-old. So the book is timeless.
Yes. So I want to say something about the backpack, if that's okay. In my visual image of what was happening with this book when I was writing it, in my terrible, terrible sketches, in every picture, the child had a backpack. And I actually have here, I replicated the backpack. It says fly on it, just like
I love the heart too.
I replicated it because I realized that the backpack is almost its own character in the book. It's a literal character because we see it on virtually every page. And I don't know when your children were younger, but when my children were, and we were picking out the backpacks, it was such an important, big deal. Is it going to hold enough? Too big, too small? Will I make sure that he or she has all of the tools they need? And then I realized it's a literal character, but it's also figurative because we all carry our own backpacks with us every day of our lives, no matter where we go, no matter who we're with. We have our tools. Maybe maybe it's, a pen is a tool, but you know what? Perseverance is a tool also. So we all carry backpacks with us throughout life, with all different things that we might need as we travel our path. As we travel our life's path, which is again another thing that is seen in the book on the cover and such.
So the backpack, what it symbolized for me was all of the tools as parents that we kept putting into the backpack as they moved forward to prepare them.
Exactly. And do you mind if I turn to a page in my book?
Oh, you kidding me? Show the book. Come on. Yes.
Thank you. I didn't want to be presumptuous, but
no.
One of my favorite pages is this one here, where we see the child with the backpack. And in this particular page, he or she is capturing stars. And it says, my goal has been to guide and teach that nothing is beyond your reach. So again, they're stars, their dreams, their ambitions, but they're also tools. Anything that child would need to get through life, to get through school, to get through relationships. And the other thing that is notable about the book is I tried really hard to keep both the adult figure and the child figure very gender neutral. I felt that it would resonate with more people. It could be a father and a daughter in the book. It could be a mother and a son, a mother and a daughter. So we only ever really see the two people in the book from behind. So we can just sort of imagine who we would like for those people to be in the book.
And so just jumping into the book, I was naturally the parent and the relationship. So it's so easy to transport yourself into the book and apply what it's saying to life.
Right.
So, okay. So the book, again, it was your second child, middle child going into kindergarten.
Yeah.
And what's interesting, so the book is very simple. The illustrations, the wording, it's a very easy book to read, but then read again and read again and read again. And it's very visual. It's not a traditional textbook. It's an experience.
Yes, correct. And I guess the way I feel about it is that there is much more that's said than what you see in the text. So between what you see in the text, what you see in the illustrations, and everything else that your own heart adds to it, there's a lot packed away in this book.
And there is your breaking from the norm and creating something special and different. That takes courage. And
thank you.
No, yes, receive that. Good. Yes.
Thank you.
That being that, is it enough? Is it not enough? And
Exactly.
it's a perfect.
And it's second guessing oneself, which I know we all do at some point in our lives, once, twice, however many times, but we all do second guess. Is this the right thing? Is this the right time? And I answered yes to both of those and just pushed forward.
So the book stayed with you. It was something that you had to download, that this, you get to bring this forward. So when and how did that happen?
So interestingly enough, I really had planned to bring it forward a little over a year ago. I was getting everything ready. The illustrations were done. I had everything lined up. And then of course the pandemic happened and everything shut down. So I thought this probably is not going to be the best time to move this forward. I wouldn't be able to do any kind of in-person book signings or presentations or lectures or anything like that. So back on the shelf it went, after having been on the shelf for 20 years or whatever it was. Back on the shelf it went. And when things started, when the vaccine came out, whatever, I started opening up a little bit. I thought, okay, now or never. I don't know if I'll get the courage up again to wait another year and then put myself out there. So I picked a date and we went forward with it. And I have my first in-person book signing this weekend, which is exciting, just simply because things are opening up. It's sort of like the light at the end of a long dark tunnel that maybe we'll get to do some in-person things. And it was different for me too, because I was able to do some Zoom presentations, like a Meet the Author. I did something for an elementary school with first and second graders, and talked a lot about using our imaginations, and explained that children are not the only ones who use their imaginations. We as adults imagine plenty of things, whether it's about our own lives, our children's lives, or just in general. So, after this difficult year that we've all had, I think this is a very sweet way to enter into the reopening of the world, I guess. I think it's a feel-good book. I think, children, no matter how old they are, when they receive this as a gift from their parent or their trusted adult, it's like, wow, they must really love me so much. Because it takes a lot of love for a parent to be able to let go of that child.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Power of the Tribe Network and Rising Star Book Club. This afternoon, I have Jennifer Stowell here with the author of Driven to Serve, Respect from Those Called to Serve in Public Service in Uncertain Times. So Jennifer, welcome to the show, and it's good to see you.
Thank you. I appreciate it, and thank you for having me.
Okay, so first of all, I know that the book, a big piece of the book.
That was actually the thing we used temporarily until I was able to get.
It's something that's never over. It's a constant. Are they okay?
Right.
Did I do enough? Are they ready?
Exactly. Did I equip them with the right tools for their backpack, basically? And I don't know if you noticed also in the very last page of the book, the only text that's seen, and it's kind of subtle, is text along life's path. I don't know if you picked up on that, but this is the page I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm, yes.
If I zoom in, I don't know how clear it is for everybody, but there are words that are all along the path. And the words are the things that we hope that we've filled our child's backpack with. Perseverance, grace, humility, honesty, ethics, the idea of roots and wings, happiness, success, family, laughter, joy. I mean, along this whole path. And I guess my goal was that as anybody goes along their own life's path, they're going to encounter moments where they're going to have to call upon these tools and implement them throughout many different situations they'll face, throughout the years.
The tools that we empowered them with.
Mhm.
So, and by the way, I know that you were saying it's for that, it's great for parents that are in the beginning. It needs to go to every kid that goes to college, because that experience is even more the
Yeah.
net.
So somebody I know ordered the book just because she knew me. So she ordered the book and she said, oh, inscribe it to me, which I did. She had not read the book yet. I dropped it off and she called me crying, literally crying, and said, oh my gosh, I can't stop crying. I've had to read and reread this book, but I also need 2 more for my sons. So one graduated college a year ago and one is, I think, a junior in college now. She says, I need these for my boys. So, and she said, will you please write something to them? I said, I absolutely will, but I also think you should write something to them in the book as well. So that was kind of nice.
You're creating another milestone, something to mark that is often so difficult, but you're bringing joy and light and love and visual beauty into that time.
I hope so. And a little bit of reassurance, because some parents that I've spoken to don't know if it's normal to have such a strange mix of emotions and strong emotions when their child leaves the nest. But I happen to think it's very normal. I think no matter what you feel when your child leaves the nest is normal, because, on the positive side, all those late nights waiting up, you don't really have to do that anymore. So that's kind of positive. I mean, it's all normal. No matter how you feel about it, it's normal. And you're not the only one who feels that way.
And the other piece too, and everyone, you're able to take your own experience from the book and whatever comes forth, whatever speaks to you. And that's the beauty of it, not being that literal and drawn out. It's purpose. It's very evoking.
Yes. And another interesting thing about the book too is that when I wrote it, it was, like I said, it's a personal experience for me. And it was written, specifically like to my child. And so when I was getting ready to publish it, I did tweak the words to make it fit many more situations. One of the best examples I can give was there's a page that says my tiny baby that I grew, and it occurred to me, not everybody grows their own babies. They adopt, they foster. So I changed that. There are certain things that I tweaked in there to make it more generic, so it would resonate with more people.
So when your son got to read the book, what was that experience like?
That is such a great question. And, I don't know, because typically when I write things, my children are kind of funny. They hate to read them in front of me, because I do think that they're all sensitive, and this one in particular, he'll shed some tears. And I think really it's been a part of his life since he was 5. So he's known about it. And so I haven't really asked how he's felt about it. But he does know that this was written for him, for the moment, what I was feeling in that moment, that I was about to let go of him and entrust him with somebody else, which is so strange because I had entrusted him with teachers at his preschool. So I don't know why it hit me about kindergarten. I'd already sent one child off to kindergarten, and just for whatever reason, it was just, wow, I can't believe I'm here already. But yeah, he gets a little bit weepy sometimes when he reads some things I write, and so my kids don't really like to read my work in front of me.
That's interesting.
They'll really take it to another room. They'll say they'll fold it up and put it in their pocket or whatever, and they'll take it home with them and read it when I'm not around.
So the only way that you truly would have gotten that in front of him was to first put it out into the world. That's ironic.
Yeah. I mean, with the illustrations and everything, yes. Yeah, that is true.
So what else are you working on? What's the path since the book came out, and what is that post-pandemic looking like for you and Fly?
So post pandemic looks like hopefully I'll have more book signings, which I really enjoy. I also hope to be able to get into some schools and talk to some kids about writing, and it was really adorable. I said I did a Zoom presentation for first and second graders, and each child got to ask me a question or tell me something they liked about the book or something they thought. And this one was writing a story and this one was reading a story. It was adorable. But as our session together was ending, you see all the kids going back to their places and you hear, I'm going to write something right now. Well, I think I'm going to start writing. And, that in itself is empowering to me because I'm a teacher by profession and I loved hearing that kids were going, that it was inspirational to them, that something that I said made them go, hey, I want to do that. Hey, I can do that. That's a huge, big thing. So hopefully I'll get to talk with a few more students or a few more classes. In-person book signings will be a great thing. And I'm not really sure. I do have another book that's been on the shelf for a gazillion years. And this one actually is a children's book that would be for children, not up to 102 like Fly is. And I haven't decided if I'm going to go forward with that, but it's called Everyday Fred. And it's just about a kid who only ever eats the same thing for lunch and dinner every day, won't try anything new. And then something happens where he's sort of forced to try something new. And then he realizes, hey, food isn't so bad. And so he eats a whole variety of different things and, happy ending.
Okay, so you just put it out there. It's no longer on the shelf. We know about it.
Right.
So and I'll tell you a little bit. So one of the things that I treasure and collect are antique children's books because of the illustrations, because they're beautiful. So I have a special place in my heart for children's books. And so, okay, let's do it here now. When do we get to meet Fred?
Now,
Come on now.
So that one I did not sketch out yet. But I have had a couple conversations with my same illustrator, with Tori, and we've come up with some ideas as far as how we want that to look. But truthfully, I've been so busy with Fly, and I don't quite think Fly is finished flying. I have a few more goals that I would like to accomplish with that. So the other book, I think I have to just wait till things slow down a little bit, and I take this one kind of as far as I can go. Because, it does kind of eat up your time, the phone calls, the correspondence, the meetings. So, I don't want to shortchange Fly, and I don't want to shortchange the potential other book either.
So, and by the way, Flies will be timeless.
Oh, thank you. I hope so. Yeah.
So with that, we're gonna stay in touch. We're also here to support you and what that looks like as we move forward.
I appreciate
and
it.
last words for people to Fly, to get hold of it, and last thoughts.
Well, so the book is available on Amazon. If you want it signed, then I'm happy to do that, and you can order it from me. My email is my first name, Sheri, SHERI, @creativerights.com. And Creative Rights is spelled creatively, of course. It's CRE, the number 8, IVEWRITES, Sheri @creativerights.com. And I'm happy to inscribe a book to your children, to you, whomever. Final thoughts about writing, about following your dream. I think it's important that we all believe in something. I think it's important that we all have a dream, that we have something to reach for. Well, look at me. I mean, it took me 20 something years to finally get up the gumption to move forward. But it's always great to have that dream because it gives you something to look forward to, even if you wait 20 something years. So if you have a song in your heart, a story in your head, put it out there to people. And I'll be the first one to acknowledge it's not easy to put yourself out there, but it does make you a stronger individual. And you sure do meet a lot of nice people, right, Maureen?
Well, I'd have to say that there is, you get to find your community because,
Yes.
as we all stand in our vision and our purpose, we all are here to support and align and shine together. So, I'm thrilled you did.
Thank you. And I so appreciate being here. Thank you, Maureen.
Okay, so we'll be meeting Fred at some point because of but the book is Fly, and the link will be here with Creative Rights, share it Creative Rights, and also the website. But I'm going to put that in here because it is spelt with a little 8 in it, and
Yes, yeah.
so the link will be get the book. It's something that you can have and read over and over again. And yes, I'm experiencing with my children now moving forward to going away to school. So it's timeless, and it's a beautiful book. So
Thank you so much. Thanks.
thank you for coming on, and I'm so happy we met, and to be
Same here.
continued. Again, the book is
Okay.
by Sheri Glantz, and links below.